Alright, listen to this. What if the biggest hero in the entire MCU was never Iron Man, never Captain America, but Erik Killmonger, the one man everyone called the villain? Sounds insane, right? But Eyes of Wakanda just dropped a secret that flips the whole story on its head, and once you hear it, you'll never see Killmonger the same way again. Think about it. The guy who fought T'Challa, burned the garden, and chose death over a throne might actually be the reason Wakanda is saving the world today. It's not just some fan theory. Marvel basically confirmed it. For years, we thought he was just rage and revenge. Turns out, that rage cracked Wakanda's walls open and forced it to step up when the whole planet needed it most. Stick around, because once you see how deep this goes, you'll realize Killmonger wasn't just right, he might be the greatest hero Marvel ever had, hiding in plain sight.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
What are you talking about? I never freeze.
When Black Panther first hit theaters, Killmonger immediately stood out from every other Marvel villain. He wasn't trying to destroy the world for fun. He didn't want power just to sit on a throne. He wanted justice, but on his own radical terms. He wanted to tear down systems that kept his people oppressed, even if it meant burning the world to build something new. For a lot of fans, he wasn't just a bad guy. He was the character who asked the real questions that no one else in the MCU dared to ask. To really get why Killmonger's story matters, you have to understand where he came from. Eric Stevens, later called Killmonger, was the son of N'Jobu, a Wakandan prince who was sent to America as a spy. But N'Jobu fell in love with America's black communities and saw the pain they suffered under racism, poverty, and violence. He believed Wakanda had the tools to change all of that, but the throne refused. So when N'Jobu tried to help oppressed people using vibranium weapons, he was killed by his own brother, King T'Chaka, and Erik was left behind in Oakland. He grew up alone, carrying that bitterness and betrayal in his heart. That's what made Killmonger so different from a villain like, say, Loki or Thanos. His pain was real. His anger was real. His mission wasn't about himself. It was about using Wakanda's hidden power to uplift people who had been forgotten for centuries. The tragedy was that he thought violence was the only way to fix it. Now, Eyes of Wakanda takes this story even further. The series explores hidden moments in Wakanda's past, showing how the nation secretly shaped world history while keeping its technology hidden. One of the biggest surprises is how it ties directly back to Killmonger's plan. In one episode, we learn about a powerful vibranium axe that was stolen long ago and ends up in Erik's hands in the 1990s. This is the same weapon he steals from the British Museum in Black Panther. But here's the twist. This axe and the fight to get it back becomes the spark that changes Wakanda's future forever. How? Well, in Eyes of Wakanda, it's revealed that this vibranium weapon out in the world sets off a chain reaction. When Killmonger takes it, he challenges Wakanda's isolation. His theft, which the throne once saw as a threat, forces T'Challa to question whether hiding Wakanda's power really keeps anyone safe. By the end of Black Panther, T'Challa makes a radical choice. Open Wakanda's doors, share its technology, and help the world. That shift, from hiding to helping, starts with Killmonger. Even more shocking, Eyes of Wakanda hints that if Wakanda had stayed hidden, Earth would eventually fall to a cosmic threat called the Horde. The Horde is one of Marvel's deadliest alien swarms, and without Wakanda's tech and influence, humanity would stand no chance. So in a strange twist, the very act that once branded Killmonger an enemy actually saves the world in the long run. Think about how wild that is. Killmonger's whole life mission was to wake Wakanda up to break the illusion that they could sit safely behind walls while millions suffered. He pushed T'Challa to change. He forced Wakanda to step into the world stage. And now, thanks to Eyes of Wakanda, we see that the world needed Wakanda more than ever. Killmonger's rebellion wasn't reckless chaos, it was the spark for the future. It's a classic, tragic hero story. Killmonger's methods were brutal: assassinations, uprisings, weapons, smuggling, but his vision was rooted in truth. Wakanda's silence did protect Wakandans, but it left generations of people fighting alone. Erik asked the hard question: if you have the power to help, What right do you have to hide it? And more importantly, if you're silent while your people suffer, are you really any better than the colonizers you once feared? It's easy to call him extreme, he was, but without his extreme challenge, would T'Challa have changed anything? Probably not. Even Chadwick Boseman, who played T'Challa, talked about this. He said Killmonger's anger was justified. He forced the king to see what he'd ignored. Some critics even said Black Panther was secretly Killmonger's movie because the entire plot is driven by his demand for change and the hero's growth is shaped by Erik's radical push. And look at the impact that decision had. When T'Challa opened Wakanda, he didn't just hold press conferences, he built outreach centers in Oakland where Killmonger grew up. He shared Wakandan tech with the world. He made alliances that strengthened Earth's defense against threats like Thanos. Without that opening, the Avengers probably lose. The world probably falls apart. None of that happens without Killmonger throwing a match at Wakanda's traditions. Eyes of Wakanda proves this was never an accident. The show confirms what fans have always argued, that Killmonger's legacy is bigger than the throne he never got to keep. He becomes the reason Wakanda evolves. He's not just a footnote in history, he's the moment history changed forever. And here's the deeper lesson. Sometimes the hero isn't the one who wins the fight. Sometimes the hero is the one who fights so hard for change that they shake the people in power awake. Killmonger is that hero. He sacrificed himself for his cause, remember. He chose death over bondage. He refused to live in a cage, even a royal one. And that final act makes him one of the most powerful, tragic figures Marvel has ever written. What makes all this so meaningful is that it feels real. Killmonger's story echoes the real world, how progress often comes not from comfortable leaders, but from radicals who push too far, who demand too much, who shout when others stay quiet. He wasn't perfect, far from it, but his flaws made him human. His vision made him unforgettable. So, when we look back now, we can see that Killmonger wasn't the villain Wakanda thought he was. He was the painful truth it needed. Eyes of Wakanda closes the loop on that idea. It proves that Erik's dream, for all its violence, wasn't wasted. It lives on in every alliance Wakanda makes, every threat it stops, every life it saves. And that's why, when people ask who the greatest hero in the MCU might really be, the answer just might be the man everyone once called the villain, Erik Killmonger, the king who never wore the crown but changed the kingdom forever. So next time someone brings up Thanos or Tony Stark or even T'Challa, remember Killmonger's name, because without him, Wakanda stays hidden, and without Wakanda, the world doesn't stand a chance. If you enjoyed this deeper look, let me know in the comments and tell me who else you want to see re-examined like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Wakanda forever.